Okay, so today we're going to talk about the cosine ratio. Our learning goal for the day is to solve equations using the cosine ratio, solve for cosine using a calculator. Just as a reminder, when we're talking about angle A, side A is the opposite and side B will be adjacent. And in angle B, side B is opposite and side A is adjacent. The side opposite the 90-degree angle, or in this case angle C, will always be the hypotenuse. So the cosine ratio is cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So instead of, when we compare it to the sine ratio, which was opposite over hypotenuse. So now instead of going to the opposite side, we're just going to be looking at the side right next to the angle. So in this case, if we're talking about the cosine of angle A, it would be B, side B, lowercase b over lowercase c. So our first example is to find cosine of A. And our first triangle is the exact same problem from yesterday. Both examples are going to be the same triangles from yesterday. All we're going to be doing, instead of is finding sine, we're now going to look for cosine. So our hypotenuse, remember using Pythagorean's theorem, we found to be 13. So the cosine of A would end up being 5 over 13 because our angle A, the adjacent side is 5, or side AC, and our hypotenuse is still AB, which is 13. In example 2, we now want to find cosine of 30. Again, same triangle. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So when we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, our short side, side 6, is just going to be, we're going to multiply that number by 2 to get our hypotenuse, which ends up being 12. So 2 times 6 is 12. To find our long leg, we're just going to take our short leg and multiply that by the square root of 3, which would be 6 square root 3. Now we just are going to plug those values in for cosine of 30, which is 6 square root of 3 over 12, which reduces down to the square root of 3 divided by 2. So if we were to plug that into our calculator and solve and get a decimal, to 4 places we would get 0.8660. 0.8660. Now again, remember where those buttons are that where we talked about on Monday. The sine button's right above is 2 buttons above the 7. Our cosine button will be 2 buttons above the number 8. So once you press that, you should see cosine with an open parentheses there. And then I want you to type in 30, and you will get 0.8660 rounded into 4 decimal places as your answer for cosine 30, which is the same as the square root of 3 divided by 2. 0.8660. Alright, so that concludes today's video notes. Make sure you write down everything and before you get started on the worksheet.